The spare key is hanging by the door. Your partner calls. Your car keys are locked inside the car. Driving over will take an hour. You take the spare key down and start getting ready to leave. Whatever you had planned for the next couple hours now has to move. There's a small drop in the chest. The mind starts searching for an explanation, carelessness, or being the one who has to fix it. The feeling can register a real cost without settling what the situation means. Once that explanation starts to settle, it changes the help. A practical drive can become a silent punishment or a relationship audit before the moment has been examined. Nothing catastrophic has really happened. The drive is inconvenient, and that is enough for a real reaction. Most of the time, feeling and explanation seem to arrive together. We often say, I am annoyed because they are careless, as though the annoyance and the explanation were one event. But several things have already been joined. There is what happened, the keys are in the car, there is the felt shift, the drop and the change in energy. There is a close appraisal. This will consume time and rearrange the evening. And then there is the wider explanation. This happened because they are careless. I keep becoming the backup. Those layers can sit so close together that they feel like one piece of information. However, they are not doing the same job. The first reaction may be accurate at one level and overconfident at another. The movement is fairly simple: unexpected disruption, felt cost, object search, story attachment, and then action pressure. The disruption changes the plan. The body registers the cost, attention looks for what the feeling belongs to, story gives the feeling a cause and an implication. Then the story begins shaping what the person wants to do. In the car key situation, the object is nearby. Your partner made the mistake, so the feeling has an obvious place to attach. But the intensity may be carrying the loss of time and control, along with whatever history is already present. Once all of that attaches to one explanation, the experience becomes simpler. They are careless. That sentence may be partly true. It may even point toward a pattern worth discussing, but it also compresses the whole state into one object. The practical disruption and the relationship history are now being carried by a single judgment about the other person. The signal has found an object because the object is plausible. The added story can be hard to separate from what happened. The same process becomes clearer when there is no obvious mistake and no one has done anything wrong yet. Imagine needing to speak with an electrician about an expensive work in your house. You might not fully understand the technical options. Some choices might be difficult to change later. You want the basic work done without being pushed into every possible upgrade. Before the conversation, tension might rise. That tension could become a story about the electrician. They will probably oversell me. It could also become a story about the self. I am bad at these conversations, yet the feeling may be tracking something closer to the situation. An expensive decision has to be made under uneven expertise, with consequences that will be difficult to reverse. Here, the feeling points towards a need for structure. It does not automatically reveal the character of the either person. That tension also shows why it would be too clean to say that meaningless bodily signal appears first and the mind invents everything afterwards. The feeling may be already registering expensive choices, limited control, and an uncertain outcome. Anger can register obstruction, anxiety can register uncertain cost, and sadness can register loss. The feeling may carry a local reading of the situation. The larger explanation grows around that reading. Once an explanation attaches, it does more than make the feeling easier to name. It makes the situation more predictable and gives the person a direction. If the problem is carelessness, The cause is clear. The future is easier to imagine. This will happen again. A response also becomes available. Confront the person, withdraw some warmth, or take more control next time. The story does not only explain the feeling, it organizes action. Because the story supplies a cause, a future, and something to do, it can feel discovered rather than constructed. The body is already supplying urgency. The person does not merely think, perhaps this is a pattern. The pattern begins to feel present in the body. The story is borrowing force from the feeling. Then the pattern can start reinforcing itself. You start by thinking, this is going to cost me an hour, and you get irritated. Then comes, why am I the one who always has to fix things? And the irritation grows. That stronger reaction now feels like further evidence that the larger story must be important. The explanation begins feeding the signal. It claims to explain. As the signal strengthens, the explanation feels less like one possible reading and more like the situation itself. None of this means the story is necessarily false. Strong feelings sometimes draw attention to a pattern that have been ignored. A person may notice an imbalance before they can explain it clearly. Experience can also train quick reactions that are worth taking seriously. The narrower claim is that intensity itself does not settle accuracy. If the partner repeatedly creates the same kind of disruption, the pattern can be examined through the practical load over time and through what happens when the issue is discussed. If the electrician really is pushing unnecessary work, that can be seen in the proposal and in how a clean boundary is received. The evidence may support the feeling's first direction. It still has to do that work. And the fact that intensity does not settle accuracy does not give another person permission to dismiss the feeling. Saying, that's just your emotion, can become a way to avoid the event or a genuine pattern. The hour is still gone. The interruption still happened. The distribution of practical responsibility may still deserve attention. What remains provisional is the larger meaning being built around those facts. A feeling can open an inquiry without finishing it. Back at the door, the question can stay close to the event. What is the feeling registering, and what broader claim is being added? The close answer may be, this interrupts me and requires effort I did not plan to give. The broader claim may be, this person is careless, or I am being taken for granted. The first layer can be named immediately. The second may need more context. The feeling can be acknowledged while the larger meaning remains open. By the time the spare key comes off the hook, the practical problem has not disappeared. The drive still has to happen. You can love helping your partner and still dislike absorbing a preventable disruption. The feeling is already there. The open question is how much work it is being asked to do. How often does the feeling point towards something real, then quietly take over the separate job of deciding what that really means?